So with the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 3 in full swing, in 2 weeks, Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, Volume 2 comes out. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and it's my thoughts on what's going to happen in this Marvel Cinematic Universe here. I'm going to give my thoughts on the phases so far and what they're doing with Phase 3. So let's load up the timeline, and we'll even get into the TV series is on Netflix as well. Let's load up the timeline here. So there you have it, right there. Of course, Phase 1, you had Iron Man, Hulk, which I didn't even know that Hulk movie was a part of the MCU until probably about a year or two ago. Then you had Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America. You had to get all those in there. And then you had the Avengers, which introduced Black Widow, which actually Black Widow was introduced in Iron Man 2. And then you had Hawkeye thrown in there as well. Phase 2 kicked off with Iron Man 3, which was kind of a disappointment. I didn't really care for that too much. And then Thor 2, which is I think it was called The Dark World. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, which was brilliant in my opinion. And then you had Guardians of the Galaxy. Wasn't too sure how Guardians of the Galaxy was going to really fit in there in Phase 2 in this overall universe, but it did quite well for Marvel. It was a brand new property for Marvel. Wasn't based off of any comic book. This was created specifically for this MCU. And it did really, really well for them. I mean, I really enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy. And then you had Avengers Age of Ultron, which was kind of a disappointment. Not a lot of people liked it. Wasn't nowhere near as good as the first one. I enjoyed Age of Ultron, actually. It set the stage for, what would become Black Panther. And it kind of set the groundwork for it. Then you had Ant-Man coming out in 2015. Very good movie. I enjoy Ant-Man so much. It was funny. It was a heist movie. It wasn't so much of a comic book movie as it was a heist film. It was very, very refreshing, and they needed that kind of my mouth is falling down the stairs. They needed that kind of refreshment to close out Phase 2 and lead us directly into Phase 3. Phase 3 opened up with Captain America: Civil War. It's probably one of my favorite, that movie right there is, they call it a Captain America movie, but to me it's Avengers 3. It really is. So yeah, Captain America: Civil War, very good movie. Very good movie. It's probably my favorite comic book movie of all time. Then you had Doctor Strange, which I just watched Doctor Strange the other day. I know I'm late to the bandwagon, but I really enjoyed Doctor Strange with a couple of, couple of things about it really kind of threw me off, but Benedict Cumberbatch doing his best Greg House impression, kind of, if you put Hugh Laurie in that role and had him do Gregory House, it would be just as good. Gregory House without the limp and the Vicodin addiction is all it was. But I enjoyed it. It was good. It was exciting to see Benedict Cumberbatch in something other than Sherlock. And I think he's a good fit for the universe. Now we're about up to May. And in a couple of weeks, actually, as I'm doing this here, Friday will make 2 weeks. So we're about 2 weeks out from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Not too much is known about the plot of the movie. The embargo for the reviews officially is lifted on Monday, so I haven't seen it like other reviewers have, so I can give my thoughts on it. I think there's going to be a lot of comedy in this one, a lot of good 80s style music in this one, which is what made that first Guardians of the Galaxy 3 years ago so damn good. It's kick-ass. I really like the way that they're going about this. James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, writer and director of Guardians of the Galaxy, did a phenomenal job with the first one. I think the second one is right on track. The third one, he signed on to do the third one, and that has a lot of people iffy about it. Can he come back for a third one without getting burnout? Joss Whedon got burnt out after making the first Avengers movie, and then he came right back and did the second one. And people, said that he was burnt out of it. So the premise is it's set to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, set 2 to 3 months after the first film. And the Guardians of the Galaxy travel through the cosmos and struggle to keep their newfound family together, while Peter Quill learns more about his true parentage. So you have Chris Pratt, who is returning as Peter Quill / Star-Lord. Zoe Saldana is Gamora. Dave Bautista is Drax the Destroyer. And Dave Bautista, man, say what you want about him as far as the wrestling world. He has really, really come into his own with this character. And, hey, he's making more money than I will. And he's going to be part of an Avengers movie, for crying out loud. We're going to see Drax the Destroyer. We're going to get to see Dave Bautista alongside Iron Man in an upcoming movie, which we'll get to here in a minute. Vin Diesel is Baby Groot. Bradley Cooper is the voice of Rocket Raccoon. Michael Rooker is Yondu. Karen Gillian is Nebula. Palm Kelmentif is Mantis. You got, there's tons of other ones. You got Kurt Russell as Ego, the Living Planet, who is actually Peter Quill's father and raised Mantis as well. We do know that much. Sylvester Stallone is in this movie. Gunn has described Stalker, Stakar, Stakar. That's who Sylvester Stallone's playing. He's very important to the Marvel Marvel Universe. Glenn Close is going to reprise her role in this movie. A lot of good things coming. Stan Lee has a cameo, obviously. Rob Zombie has a voice cameo in this movie. Going to be very telling. I'm going to go see it, probably opening weekend. I can't wait for this movie. I enjoyed the first one so much. In fact, after I get done with this video, I'll probably go upstairs and watch the first one all over again. It was so good. So that's getting back here to the cinematic universe. That right there is going to really set the stage, I think, for Infinity War. I really do. Because you got to know, I don't know if this movie will circle around an Infinity Stone, but you need this extra shot in the arm of these Guardians of the Galaxy. If this cosmos, universe is going to fill in with the rest of the Earthbound universe. Kevin Feige described it when he first introduced us to Phase 3, before Ant-Man and Age of Ultron even came out. He said, we have the Earthbound audience, and now we're going, phase of it, now we're going to the cosmos. They want that cosmic universe. And this right here is going to set the stage for the rest of it. At the end of this, there needs to be it's rumored that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has 5 post-credit sequences. 5! If one of those is not Thanos, we need to see Thanos in this movie. It's been a while since we saw Thanos in any of the movies. We need to see Thanos, and we need to see Thanos making his way to Earth. After the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming hits right around July 7th, I believe, of this year. It's going to be very telling. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know, because of the way Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man. If this movie does really well, I could totally see Sony going, that's it, we're going to do our own Spider-Man film in continuation of this and cut Marvel out. I don't know if they can do that, but it's very hard for me until Disney/Marvel owns full rights to that character again, cinematic rights, I should say. It's very hard for me to accept Spider-Man as a part of this cinematic universe, because I've heard rumors that this is a one and done for Spider-Man. I've heard rumors that he's not even going to be in Infinity War. And to me, you need Spider-Man in there. Spider-Man, Tom Holland did such a good job in Civil War. He's believable. He's Peter Parker to me. He's the epitome of what Peter Parker should be. And to have him taken, I don't want to see him in a standalone movie done by Sony. They tried that. They tried that 5 fucking times, and it just did. After the first one, it didn't work. You had Andrew Garfield playing him, didn't work. Tobey Maguire, it worked in maybe the first movie. After that, Tom Holland to me is the epitome of what Peter Parker should be played, and Spider-Man. I can't wait to see this movie. The trailer for the Spider-Man Homecoming looks good. You got Michael Keaton playing the Vulture, returning to the superhero genre. This time he's in Marvel films. It's going to be great. I have a feeling I'm going to like this movie. Now, where it fits in the overall cinematic universe is gray to me. Very, very gray. After that, in November, we got Thor Ragnarok coming. The trailer for that looked awesome. Glad to see Jeff Goldblum doing something in this universe. Whether or not those guys will tie into the overall, cinematic universe, I don't know. Doesn't look like they're going to be bringing in Natalie Portman for this movie. I like Natalie Portman's character in the Thor movies. I thought she did a good job. So it's curious, we get our first glimpse of Hulk since Avengers Age of Ultron. It's been 2 years since we've seen Thor and Hulk. So it's kind of good to see him, the guy Thor's cut his hair. So it's kind of interesting to see him with short hair. I like the short hair thing. Yes, Vikings can have short hair. But after that, in 2018, coming up, I believe Thor is set for November 3rd. So Black Panther's coming out February 16th, right in time for that Valentine's Day thing. In 2018. I don't know if Deadpool 2 will be out. Deadpool 2 is probably not even going to be shooting by then. There's not going to be a 50 Shades of Grey movie coming out in 2018. So you kind of need something to fill that void. The last 2 years you've had Deadpool on Valentine's Day. Or you had a 50 Shades movie come out on Valentine's Day. So, and yes, I'm sorry. I have a girlfriend. I did the right thing and took her to see 50 Shades of Grey both times in the theaters. So it's like the last 3 years for Valentine's Day, we go see a movie. And I was kind of worried that there wouldn't be another movie in 2018 on Valentine's Day. Looks like we're wrong. Black Panther's going to be the thing to see in 2018 on for your Valentine's Day date. And then shortly after that, February, March, April, 3 months after that, in 2018. Now, do I think the spacing needs to be out a little bit further? Maybe. Maybe they could, space this out a little bit more and move this to July, because I think it would do better in July. But you got Avengers Infinity War coming out May 4th. The Russo brothers are returning to do this one. I think, with those being you get, two directors in the form of one. So you get two fresh heads. You don't have to worry about the Joss Whedon burnout of one guy. The Russo brothers kind of work interchangeably. And so it's going to be great. So you got Infinity War coming out May 4th, 2018. I really think that they need to move it back to July. Having an MCU movie 3 months before there, space it out a little bit. Do one in the winter, do one in the summer, do one in the fall. And after Avengers Infinity War in May, 2 months after that, you got Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out. Now, I'm excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp, but again, this should be pushed back to November for me. This should be your November movie. They've done a November movie every year. It was Doctor Strange. They had, they've had Thor: The Dark World come out in November. No, Doctor Strange. I know Doctor Strange didn't open up to good numbers. Neither did Ant-Man, because people discredited them, and it really found its audience through home video. Home video. When's the last time somebody called it that? But I really think they need to space these out a little bit more. Give people time to breathe in between and soak it in and ingest what they've just seen before you hit them. I mean, it's just May, July, March. And, it's literally February, May, and July of 2018. It just feels like they're not giving you time to breathe in between these movies. But I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Directed by Peyton Reed. Paul Rudd does a damn good job. Paul Rudd's co-writing the script again. So it's going to be awesome it's going to be awesome for that. Going back to Spider-Man Homecoming, the thing that really concerns me is that Amy Pascal from Sony is going to be co-producing this. I'm not an Amy Pascal fan. I can't stand what she did to the Ghostbusters franchise. So, and you all know my thoughts on that. And then you got in March of 2019, Captain Marvel is hitting. Captain Marvel is going to be awesome. Let me see here. It's being written by Nicole Perman and Meg LaFaux. I guess is what you would call it. Let's see if we could do a little bit more digging here on the Captain Marvel. Hollywood Reporter is Marvel in May 2013. This movie was that they were working on a script. Brie Larson was confirmed last year to play the role of Carol Danvers. Film is expected to take place in January 2018 with a March 2019 release date. Brie Larson doing that, she's done 13 going on 30. Let me see here what else. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, 21 Jump Street. She did 21 Jump Street. She was in Trainwreck, Kong Skull Island here. So she's done a lot of stuff. She's done a lot of TV work too. She's hosted Saturday Night Live before. Brie Larson, I think, would be a good fit. You got Spider-Man, and then, you see on your screen here the Inhumans. I don't want to see... To me, the Inhumans is something that they need to do for a TV show. They are doing a TV show, Inhumans, on ABC, and it's scheduled to start airing in September of this year. Showrunner for that is Scott Buck. So, to me, it's like they need to abandon the Inhumans. It didn't get a good reaction when they announced it. And back in 2014, when Kevin Feige did that thing at the El Capitan Theater, announcing Phase 3, they showed the Inhumans, and it got cheers, but nowhere near the cheers that the other movies that day got. So I'm not looking forward to the Inhumans movie. Now, the Avengers Infinity War movies. Need to talk about those for a second, because on your screen, you see where they do Avengers Part 1, Avengers Infinity War Part 1 in 2016 or 2018, which that's been moved up, obviously, because that is actually coming out in May 4th, 2018. Well, it's been moved up, kind of, to 20. They're doing Part 1 in 2018. They were supposed to do Part 2 in 2019. Avengers was supposed to come out in, I think, in July of this year. It's been moved up to May of next year. So, anyway, Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, it's no longer going to be two movies. The first one is going to be called Infinity War. It's rumored to be around 2.5 to 3 hours long. And then the second one, instead of doing Infinity War Part 2, they're going to just call it something else. Now, whether or not we see Thanos, disappearing in this, and a new type of movie comes out, or a new type of villain comes out for this, we don't know. They haven't even finished shooting Infinity War, yet. So, I kind of like the idea of doing Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2. The problem with that is you had two movies in between, in Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel. I think you need to introduce those two characters and then have everybody culminate and team up in Avengers, whatever they call that in Part 2. You need to have everybody team up, and they need to make it an epic, make it 4 hours long. If you want to get all those, you got all these characters. You got all the Avengers, so there's 6 of those guys, and then you got all the Guardians of the Galaxy. You got Ant-Man. That's about 13, 14 characters that you're going to have on the screen and all have equal screen time. I don't see how it's going to happen in Avengers, because now you got Black Panther and Ant-Man thrown in the mix of this, plus Spider-Man now. Is Spider-Man even going to be in Infinity War? We don't know. When Kevin Feige was at that event in 2014, Spider-Man wasn't even in their plans yet. So it wasn't until about a year after that that they were like, okay, we're going to have Spider-Man. you know? Um, Captain America Civil War hadn't even begun shooting at that point. It wasn't until a year later that it would begin shooting. And Spider-Man was actually thrown into the Civil War plans kind of at the last minute. And they're like, well, we got to do something with him. So, okay, they wrote him into, the ending sequence kind of, or the middle, the end of the second act, if you will. And after they're calling it on Wikipedia, they call it the Untitled Avengers film, which is that of Infinity War Part 2. So, I don't know what they're going to do with that. Captain Marvel is, going to be in that. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Spider-Man may be in it, may not be. They've also greenlit another Spider-Man, what they call Spider-Man Homecoming 2, that's scheduled to be released in July 5th of 2019. It's going to be very, very touching to see what they do, or very, very curious to see what they do with Spider-Man in this MCU, and if Sony lets them have free reign of it. Because I got a feeling that movie is going to be a huge success. I have a feeling now that people know that Spider-Man's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, they know that they're not going to get another Andrew Garfield movie when this comes out. It's being directed by John Watts. It was written by, Jonathan Goldstein, John Francis Daley, John Watts, Christopher Ford. There's a lot of people on this, but Amy Pascal right there being a producer for this really tells the tale. And whether they decide to throw the legal red flag, Sony, Pascal, whether or not she decides to take reins over this project, I hope not. To me, the more, the more away from this project that Sony keeps itself and people like Amy Pascal keeps herself, the better the project is going to be. So they've already greenlit another Spider-Man Homecoming 2. That's the working title for it right now. Spider-Man Homecoming 2. I don't think it's going to stay that. July 5th, 2019 is the estimated release date for that. And again, being produced by Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal. And then they have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which has just been announced. James Gunn returning to do that one as well. He's going to write and direct it. Those two movies are part of an unknown phase. I think we'll get a Phase 4 out of Marvel. I don't know if they've worked in Phase 4 yet. D23 is going to be telling. Comic-Con is going to be telling this year as to what they announce. I honestly think at Comic-Con this year, you're going to get a trailer for Black Panther. I think you may get a teaser trailer for Infinity War. Don't know yet. Now, it's going over to Netflix. Netflix is telling here. They just did Iron Fist. It premiered March 17th of this year on St. Patrick's Day. The Defenders is scheduled to drop in August. And then after that is The Punisher is going to be released sometime in 2017 as well. On Freeform, which is ABC Family, you got Marvel's Cloak and Dagger scheduled to debut in 2018, 10 episodes. And instead of having it be a male-female relationship, of course, they're going to gay bait you. And we got a lesbian couple as Cloak and Dagger. Starring Olivia Holt and Aubrey Joseph. Let's check out Olivia Holt here, see where she's done. She starred in a lot of Disney, Kicking It, Girl vs. Monster. Let's check out her filmography here. What has she done? Nothing really of date. She did Tinkerbell, a couple Tinkerbell movies. She's your classic Disney actress, kind of like a Selena Gomez type. And then Aubrey Joseph hasn't really done. She did 2 movies here. She did Run All Night. As far as television goes, Law and Order SVU she had a part in. The Night Of. Really hasn't done much with her career. So it's kind of telling to see who these two teenagers who require special superpowers and form a romantic relationship. So already it's the classic gay baiting where they're going to say, that's a thing now. I'm not bashing gays or lesbians. Quite frankly, I don't care who you love, what you do in your bedroom or whatever is your business. But Hollywood and television seem to be on this kick of, well, it's popular to be gay, so let's just throw gay people at the screen. I don't care one way or another, but to me, it's called gay baiting. You know, they're trying to pop a raid. They're trying to pop the gay and lesbian audience into tuning into this thing because, oh, we'll throw lesbians at you. Lesbians draw ratings, as Howard Stern used to say. Or if it was two gay guys in there, they'd be the same thing. Nowadays, that shit draws to these kids because it's become more acceptable in modern culture. But I think you get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be a gay basher here, quite frankly. I mean, I'm not. I don't, like I said, I'm not. I don't care if you're gay or not. What you choose to do is your business, but it just seems like nowadays that's the cool thing to do in Hollywood is throw gay characters on the screen. you know? And in the comic books, they're not gay characters. Cloak and Dagger are a male and female, You got Cloak, who is Tyrone Ty Johnson, and Dagger, who is Tandy Bowen. So it's a very, very male-female setup here. Cloak and Dagger #1 was originally released in October 1983. The artwork was done by Rick Lenardi. So, I mean, it's I don't know. I kind of like the series. They're going to make it all freeform-esque. You know how that is. That the new show on Netflix, 13 Reasons Why, that everybody's flipping over, is basically, from what I've seen of it, it's basically a freeform style show, teeny bopper, teenager show. Kind of like a Pretty Little Liars with cursing. That's all that is. This show is going to be no different. There's going to be no cursing in it, but I'm just curious to see how they're going to handle something like this. So, it's written by Joe Pokaski. I don't even know. Golly, Hollywood has some strange names. It's scheduled to premiere in freeform in 2018. 10 episodes. Originally intended to premiere in 2017 when it was first ordered to series. Abraham Rydstein of Vulture felt that the show's potential strengths was that Marvel had a unique opportunity to tell a story, quote, without needing to appeal to any kind of rabid fan base of horror or of honor. Excuse me, let me try to reread this here. Sorry. Or honor any iconic stories because the characters have neither nor any famous arch nemesis or a widely read graphic novel that fans will be expecting to see. So basically what he's trying to say is they're not that popular among comic book nerds. He concluded saying Cloak and Dagger could be something unique and potentially lovely, an attempt to build a new bit of filmed superhero iconography, mostly from the ground up. There's so much to mine in this genre. It deals metaphorically with burdens, risks, libertations of power, has storytelling freedoms offered by high-concept science fiction, fantasy, and magical realism. It's showing to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so who knows? There's an unaired pilot out there for Most Wanted, Marvel Most Wanted. It was created for ABC, based on the Marvel comic characters Bobby Morse and Lance Hunter. It's set in the MCU, sharing continuity with the films and other television series. It's a spin-off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Apparently this thing is, the series Reinvented Most Wanted has received a pilot order, with Lindo joining in 2016. The pilot was passed on once again in May 2016. So apparently they have a pilot in the can for this show. Ex-spies and ex-spouses are on the run trying to uncover a conspiracy against them without any help from S.H.I.E.L.D. This leads them to form uneasy alliance with rogue adventurer Dominic Fortune and Christina Santos in order to survive. Dominic Fortune, of course, is like from what I'm seeing here on the comic books, he wears a jester costume. So there you go. Could be cool. So that's it. I just wanted to do this quick little video here, going on 30 minutes, about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm kind of iffy on the Spider-Man, guys, I'm telling you. I'm really iffy on Spider-Man. I'm real iffy on Inhumans. I don't think Inhumans belongs in this. Keep Inhumans off to ABC, because that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been running towards Inhumans. I believe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to end, and the Inhumans television series will pick up where that left off. the Netflix series. I've yet to watch Iron Fist. We know that there's a Punisher series coming after Defenders, which, you know, the Punisher was great in Daredevil Season 2. I would love to see a Daredevil Season 3. Season 2 was kind of meh, but they really screwed the pooch with Elektra. Let me just tell you that. Agent Carter I have not seen. I need to probably watch Agent Carter. I've heard it's good. But there you go. There's my thoughts on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Captain Marvel, I'm curious to see what they do with that. I'm curious to see what they do with Jessica Jones. I really would like a Jessica Jones Season 2 as well. The first one was great. But, we're getting, we're not that far off. We're a year away from Infinity War, man. And this is what they've been building to all along since 2008. But yeah, leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Without you, there is no me. I love doing these videos for you guys. Be sure to check out my podcast. We're part of the Cool Truth Podcasting Network. Go to ctpnnow.com for more info there. You can reach me on Twitter at NewSearchLive, Facebook.com/NewSearchLive as well. And there's the website right down there in the bottom corner, ctpnnow.com. That's the home of the Cool Truth Podcasting Network. We have many great podcasts on that network. NewSearchLive@yahoo.com, your email address again. And thank you guys for watching. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you down the road.